Hello, everyone. Happy Caviar Wednesday. It's Mike Brown, the founder of FlowTrack. And we're going to kick off today by going over a very cool topic. And today's topic, we're going to be going over how you can bill customers via an SMS reply in an automation flow. So, someone recommended this topic in the Facebook group. I thought it was a really cool idea. So, let's go ahead and build this in the automation flow builder. And first, I just want to make sure, can you guys hear me okay? There's no echo. If you guys are watching on Facebook or YouTube, just go ahead and drop in a comment and I can go ahead and see that. And as always, if you guys have questions or comments, feel free to drop them below and we'll get those answered for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. Danny says it's 100% good. So thank you, Danny. Great. So sharing my screen, and first thing, let's go in and just create an automation flow. So I'm going to go under automations or flows, and I'm going to come in here and create a new one. So click on create new flow. And for this one, let's just go ahead and create a contact flow. And the first step in here is let's send a text message. All right. So we're going to be sending a message to the customer. Something like, you want to be charged? Do you agree? Right? So do you agree? Dot, 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 question mark. So we're going to be sending a message to the customer. Do you agree? And I don't have a phone number in this trial account, so actually can't create this step. It says no SMS enabled phone numbers found, but you can visualize that or imagine I'm creating this SMS step. So we would say, do you agree? And then next we're going to want to wait for a reply step. So I'm actually going to close that step and remove it. And I'm just going to jump to the wait for reply step. And this one actually requires an SMS step on your flow as well. But you can come in here and say, wait for amount of time for a reply. And so you can come in here and say something like, yes, right? And we're going to wait up to 3 days for a yes. And so we can say, type in the keywords that we're expecting. So we can look for a yes and an okay and a I agree, that sort of thing in here. And so when you get a match on that SMS reply, it's going to go down this yes branch. Now I can equally create other branches in here too. We can do one for no, but in here I just have one. But you can come in here and click this button to add multiple branches. So you're listening for as many different keywords as you want. That's going to help branch the flow so you can go down a different direction depending on the response. So we'll save this. I got my wait for reply step, and the next step we'd want to do if they say yes and they want to be charged is let's go ahead and add on the order product or subscription. So you just drag this step. You can actually select the product or package that you want, and you can select the payment method. So if this is just a free subscription, like you can do this for a trial flow, right? Hey, do you want to get a free trial on your account? And they say yes, and then you can reply, great, your account was just created, go log in, right? So that's when you could use the free option. But you probably want to use the contacts default credit card. So you got this option in here in the dropdown. That's really it for this step. You just save it and we're just going to start connecting it, right? And so at the end of every flow, we always connect it to the deactivate contact from flow step. But what should we do with the timeout or no match? Well, if you don't get a match in here, probably a good idea to tag the user or throw them in a pipeline, right? Because you got to do some sort of manual review. What did the customer respond with to that question? They didn't say yes. We weren't expecting this result. So we really need a human to go in there and dive into what it is. So there's a few ways you can do that. I love using tags. I use tags for everything. So we can just tag this person as unknown response, right? Unknown response. Push enter, save this, and now all of our no matches are going to go here. And you're going to have a process to just go in and look for customers with that tag, pull up the conversation, and see how you can improve this. Maybe there's another branch of logic you can add in there, like, or do you have any questions first? And maybe you can get them to say something to go down a question branch. That could be cool as well. And then you got timeout. right? So if they didn't reply to your message, maybe they're not interested in the offer. You can tag them as not interested or interested, right? So not interested, something like that, or didn't reply. That might be a better tag, but we'll just come in here and tag that person and connect them all to the deactivate from flow step. And so this is going to be a really simple flow. And again, imagine we got the send SMS step first. After that, we're waiting for a reply. They say, yes, I want to be charged. We just order that product or subscription, and that's the end of the flow. And you can improve on this a ton of different ways. This is just a super quick demo, kind of plant a seed on what's possible in here. But you'd probably send a follow-up message after that. Perfect. Just process your payment, or perfect, I created your account, something like that in there. I'm going to start diving into some of the questions. If you guys have questions in the chat, feel free to drop them in. But I think this is another cool way on how you can use the different services in FlowTrack and automate different pieces of your business. So really cool step. Happy to show you guys, and let's see if we got any different questions. All right, perfect. So we did have a question on the domain connection. So there was the team's making some enhancements right now to the domain connection process. So expect an update on that a little bit later today. I saw someone had some problems connecting that. Let's see. Someone's saying, is it possible to export the form data associated with a contact? That's a great question. And I'm trying to think, do we have export on the form data? Don't think there's the export button yet. You do have the export button on the, I'm going to save this really quick. You do have the CMS ability in there, so you can go in there and view the data. And we do have in the next version of the CMS, the download button. So if you guys go into the database, go into the CMS, this is what I'm talking about. You can come in here and open up some form, and there is an export button. I lied. So export button's there. You can use it. So this is where you're going to see all your form data. You can just click on the export button. I think it was the import button they're adding then, something like that. But there's a whole host of new features on the next version of the CMS, but that's where you can find the export button. So great question. Let's see. I got someone asking, created 2 forms, one for billing, another for upsell, and charge the customer. How can I make sure the contact matches? Because when no match happens, it doesn't execute the product order. So if you're doing an upsell page, the matching just happens automatically, right? Because when they fill out the page 1 or the form 1, it actually cookies the user and follows them to the next one. So you actually don't need to do this matching step in your flow. And I want to add an extra step in there if you don't need it, but it just automatically matches the customer because they're cookied and we know who they are. So that's going to be the best way to do it, is just let the forms follow them as they go through form 1 and form 2. Let's see. Now the other option is maybe you're sending out like an abandoned cart type of flow. And so in that specific case, we can just go into the flow I just created really quick and open that up so I can show you. But in that case, if you send them a link, like let's say they filled out form 1 and they got to your upsell page and they abandoned, right? And then they come back to your site on a different device. Well, how are you going to know what contact that is, right? So there's a cool way you can do that. And so if I come up and edit my flow, we're going to see the send email step. And so anytime you're sending an email, and it can be send email or SMS. I'm going to do the SMS one just because it's shorter for the video purposes. So anytime you're sending out a message, you can come in here and insert your form link. So if you hooked it up to a form, you can use the form data. If you didn't hook up to a form, you get the form link. Now, you can put the link to your upsell page in here, or you can put a link to the form with your upsell in here. And the system's smart enough to know that, hey, this is a page that has a form on it, or this is a form link, and it actually appends some encoded contact data at the end. So when they do click on it, even if it's from a different device, we know who they are, and you can still get that contact matching. That happens automatically. You don't need to write anything at the end of the URL, no query string, nothing like that. That all happens automatically. So great question. Let's see. Another person saying one of your sub accounts got the message, the telephone number is not associated with a messaging campaign. So that would be something you need to go in and check if you have the SMS plan enabled on the phone number. I'm going to show you where that is. So just dive into phone, go to phone numbers, and on here, you're going to see a big button that says enable SMS. So click on that. You're going to get a pop-up that gives you the step-by-step instructions on how you can SMS enable your phone. Long story short, there's a carrier registration process that goes on the back end. So these are the questions that they require us to ask in order to turn on the messaging for the phone. So just complete that and then you'll see it. Now, after you fill that out, right, you'll see a little SMS plan and brand registered right here. And you can actually see the status of that, if it's approved or rejected for some reason. If you just keyed in a bunch of random data or something, it's obviously going to be rejected. They actually do look that you have valid, business info in there. So you may want to go check the status of that. And if you still have any problems or questions on that, definitely reach out to us in the chat support, and we're happy to help get you going. Let's see. Another person saying, sending a text from a contact supports uploading pictures and videos, but the SMS step in the flow only allows uploading a picture. And I don't know who's writing that comment, but I think that's Danny. Either Danny knows the answer to that or Danny's asking that. So I don't know which one, but so inside the flow builder, I'm pretty sure they updated it so you can add different types of files in there on the SMS step. But I don't know off the top of my head. I'm going to take a note of that, screenshot of that. So I got that comment and we can look at it. If it does allow it on the contact, it should definitely allow it on the send up SMS step. So we can take a look at that. But that's what we're talking about, the upload button. So we'll check and make sure you can do videos as well as pictures. So thank you for bringing that up. Another person asking, is it possible to import a bunch of info and then populate form data? Can you do it only one webhook at a time? So can you import a bunch of info and populate form data? Absolutely. So when you import some data, and you can import contacts or you can input form data, you can actually select the form that you want to write the data to. So if you go into the database section and you click on import, you're going to get the import screen, and it's going to say, what do you want to upload, right? And you can select your form, you can drag and drop your file, and then it's going to ask you to map the fields, right? And so if your form or file actually happens to match the same fields you have in your form, makes it super easy. But you can also just upload the file so you don't have to deal with the webhook if you don't want. But you have both ways to do it. There's another option if you guys do want to go the technical route and you guys are working with the API or are working with the webhook, you can actually go into tracks, and under tracks, you can turn on the update permission on your track. So come in here, just click on one of the forms, click on edit track, or you can create a new track. And there's this tab in here that says API permissions. So by default, all your forms are create only, and you should leave your forms as create only because this requires only a public key, right? The forms just write and the whole world can just write. So if you guys want to create a new track in here, you can give that track update and delete permission. Then you can actually update the data on the form through an API call. So that is really cool as well. Let's see, Karen saying, how do you change the background color in a checkbox when they click I agree to receive updates? That's a great question. That would be definitely a custom CSS thing. So I think that's the attribute just checked or clicked, one of those. I'm sure someone can chime in and provide an example CSS on how to do that. So if someone can do that, that would be awesome. I think it's just like the colon and then checked at the end of the CSS. But if someone doesn't chime in, I'll go in and give you an example of that after this video. Let's see. Someone's saying, can you show us how to implement the Google Places API to autocomplete address fields inside a form? That's a great question. And I'd have to Google that one really quick to find out the steps to do that because, I haven't used the Google Places API in quite a while. So that's a really good question. And maybe we should make that one of our next videos. I'm going to take a screenshot of that one too. And we can do that in another video and also try to get you an answer to that sooner than the video. So great one. Let's see. Is there a way to manually remove someone from a flow without deleting the contact? So you got a couple different ways you can remove people from flows. One way is actually to use the deactivate from flow step. So that can deactivate someone. And by the way, when you guys are in the flow builder, if you guys haven't noticed this already, I think we quietly released this feature. The deactivate from call step, if you open it, actually has some options in here. So you can say deactivate from this flow only or deactivate from all flows. Now, I've seen people also use like tags, like a D&D tag, right? So you can have a flow that only has one step of deactivate all flows. And, that flow could be listening for a trigger, D&D tag added. And so when that tag's added, it's going to deactivate them from all flows. So that's another little cool thing I've seen people do with this that might be interesting for you. That's usually helpful if you got a lot of different flows they're a member of and you don't want to have to go deactivate them from each one. You can just add a tag and do it that way. But you also have the ability to stop processing them on the flows right by the opt-in checkbox. So it says opt-in for email, opt-in for SMS. There's another one in there that says opt-in for flows. That's just a quick way to stop all the processing of the flows. Let's see. Robin's saying, any idea when we might see the function in the blueprints to export from other than a black label, white label account? So definitely. So we have on our roadmap, this is going to be one of the things after the calendar is some big improvements to the blueprints to allow easier sharing and a bunch of more cool things in there. So give us some time to finish getting the calendar out, and we're going to be moving on to a lot of cool quality of life enhancements or user experience enhancements. So you guys can get in there humming and using the blueprints a lot more. Right now they go from top to bottom, right? So you got your white label account or your black label account, which is like the master account. It's basically pushing content down to your sub accounts. But we want people to be able to share this content to other accounts, even if it's not your sub account. It could even be with a completely different account. So we got a cool way to do that. And definitely wait for that, Robin. I think you'll love it. Okay, someone's saying, can you change the subscription for SMS plans, like upgrade or downgrade phone numbers, for example, choosing sole proprietor and decide to change? So, I mean, you can, add and remove SMS plans. You do have to go through that vetting process with them. So, you might want to think about before you just change your SMS plan on there, but you can. You would have to remove one and add another. So that's something you could do. But the campaign registry charges you like a $15 fee for going through that vetting. So, make sure you set up your plan correctly the first time so you don't have to do that vetting again if you create a new one. That's a good question. So inside the white label customization, what is the web page made with label text? So that's a great question. And so we have, and I'll show you an example on the FlowTrack site. But if you go to the FlowTrack site, you can see this little made with FlowTrack badge on the bottom left of my screen. And maybe you can't because it's actually cut off on the screen share. But anyways, go visit the FlowTrack.co website and you're actually going to see this little made with FlowTrack badge. And that's exactly what you guys are updating when you guys customize that on the white label settings. And so let me show you guys what she's talking about really quick so you guys can see that in here. So if you guys go into white label, you're going to see this web page made with label text. So it'll say made with blank, right? You can say made with magic, or put in your brand name there. And then you got the link. If someone clicks on that, where's it going to go? You can put the link to your website right there. That allows you to customize that for your site and all of your sub accounts. So that's really cool. Let's see. Someone's asking about the pipe change trigger. Absolutely, that is in the quality of life enhancements. We're going to be knocking out 100%. Another person asking about, is the lifetime offer ending? Yes, so we're going to be changing that up. And so definitely stay tuned on that. If you guys want that, check it out, the lifetime deal. Let's see, we got some other questions. Is there a way to set a custom color palette in the designer? So that's a great one, Karen. And so we do want to add the ability for that. So you can actually set your own. And we also want the ability to not just save your own, but maybe reorder some of the colors in here if you like one of the palettes that's already in here. So we're going to be doing that in the designer. They got like 20 other little things they're adding in here before we can get to that. But definitely want the ability to customize the color palette in here. Sometimes even when I pick a color palette, right, you want like a different order of it because some of them are picked based on the order. But I think that's a great idea. So we'll get that added, Karen. Someone's saying, can you give us a sneak peek on the calendar? Absolutely. So I don't have that pulled up in front of me right now, but let me see what I can do. Let you guys pull up some more questions and see if we can get those answered for you. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pull up the calendar in another tab and try to get this. So I'm going to figure out my login for my test account, but I'll let you guys go ahead and keep writing in some questions and answers, and I'll try to get this pulled up for you guys. So let's see. You know what? And I got my two-factor auth, and I'm using my phone as the webcam. So you got me. Not going to be possible this second. So, but we do have a sneak peek of it on the website. So if you guys go to the website, you can see a little sneak peek of it here. We got the screenshots of the calendar. So this is the calendar widget that's going to be on the in the web designer. And then behind that is basically the team calendar page where you can switch between your different calendars, both personal and team calendars, and see that all in one spot. But let's do that on the next one. So we're gonna, or maybe I could do another video right after this, and we can pull it up and give you guys a sneak peek on the calendar. I don't know who wrote that question, so if you want to write your name in there too, make sure to ping you. And let's see if there's any more questions or comments. Let's see. I don't see anything else. So I'll give you guys another minute if you guys want to ask anything. The team's been doing a great job getting a lot of the enhancements and fix done to the website builder. So if you guys haven't seen that already, you can see the changes at roadmap.flowtrack.co. And we put the changelog on there now, so we can start getting that in there for you. Let's see. So Ricky was saying he was working in the website designer, and when he saves the work, he gets some page unresponsive. So we definitely identified at least 2 cases where that happens, and the team fixed, I think it was one of them today. But I want to connect with you, Ricky, so I can see what you're seeing, because there has been some examples of that, and we want to make sure we get all of those resolved quickly. So definitely send me a PM after this, and happy to dive into that with you, make sure we can get it reproduced and fixed. Perfect. Let's see. Can you explain the new campaign registry DLC requirements? Yeah, exactly. So the campaign registry is a registry that was created by the carriers, and it basically is just a database of registrations for every phone number that's SMS enabled. So in order to send SMS, you have to be registered in this database. If you're not, the carriers may not deliver your messages at all. They may not even allow your message to be attempted to be sent, or they could filter you like crazy, right? So you got to get your messages, your campaigns registered. That's what the Enable SMS button does inside FlowTrack. So when you click on Enable SMS, it asks you a bunch of questions and does that registration. So that all happens automatically behind the scenes once you answer your questions, and that basically means your numbers are registered. So the whole point of this is to help carriers prevent spam, and they know who to filter. So when they see you, you got your registered business and you got your phone number registered for your SMS campaign, you can have better deliverability, or even deliverability as opposed to someone else that doesn't, and they might just filter it out because it's unregistered traffic. And so they actually have some different fines and things if you send unregistered traffic in some cases. So, everyone's pretty big on making sure you got to have all your campaigns registered. Hope that answers all your questions on the 10 DLC. Let's see. And I think the sole proprietor is probably the lowest cost one on there. You were asking about the lowest tier. I think sole proprietor is the lowest tier. But the mixed one is good too, because if you use the mixed use case and you do have more than one use case, you can do just one registration, right? So mixed allows you to select, I think, up to 5 different types of messaging for one campaign, which means you maybe only have to create one campaign, which is a lot easier. So great question. So we got someone saying, Johnny, he's new to FlowTrack and there's tons of options in there. And what's the best place to go for an overview? So if you haven't already seen it, when you guys log into FlowTrack now, you guys should be getting some kind of guides and tutorials and different things that you guys want to set up. Now, if you're not seeing this yet, hopefully you guys can see this on my screen, but white label people have this white label checklist. So this pops up when you're in there. If you don't see this for some reason, actually go in and disable your ad blocker for FlowTrack. We're not, this thing's not giving you ads on there or anything, but I did find out it was blocked by my ad blocker and we're getting that resolved. But you should start seeing a lot more setup guides and tutorials pop up as you start using different parts of FlowTrack. So you got this step-by-step get online with your white label guide. You got videos that pop up. You can say, watch the video. Dive into the website builder, you get videos. Dive into the phone, you get videos. We're adding a lot more stuff like that and definitely trying to make it as easy as possible. So I'd love to get more of your feedback, Johnny, and see if you have been seeing these things. And actually, everyone, tell me what you guys think of the new guides and the new videos. I'd love to get you guys' feedback and tell me what you guys want more of in that regards. Is there something you think that could use more clarification in there? It could be a little bit easier. Or is there a new checklist you guys want to see added? We can get that in there as well. So really appreciate all your feedback on that in advance, definitely. Let's see. Someone's saying the roadmap states the pricing for sole proprietor campaigns changed to $4. Twilio reports it as $2. So which is correct and how we build. So we use the price from the campaign registry. And so whatever the price is from them, it's just passed through. So I can double check on that price for you, but I'm pretty sure it's $4. And I think Twilio just passes it through as well. But happy to check on that for you. I don't know Twilio's pricing off the top of my head, but happy to take a look at that. If you want to write your name in there too, follow up with you on that. Let's see. Someone's asking, how can an API automatically activate a subscription to a new user paid through Thrivecart? So you want to activate a subscription to someone that paid through Thrivecart. So, and I haven't used Thrivecart, but if they do have the ability to do like an API call or a webhook or something like that, you might be able to use the forms for that and have that form trigger a flow. And that can be like your onboarding flow in there. So I'm not 100% sure on Thrivecart, but happy to take a look at that one as well. Take a screenshot of that and see how you can do a cool integration. And I can't see the name most of the people in the Facebook group, so if you want an answer or me to follow up with something, please write your name and I'll follow up with you guys. Let's see, another person saying, is it possible to register our phone numbers for sure, shaken and stirred trusted calling? So everything is shaken and stir compliant with the phone system. That basically means the attestation of the caller ID. That's actually why we do the SMS verification codes. When you guys want to add your own custom caller ID, we have to verify, you own the number that you're calling from. So every phone number you get inside FlowTrack, we can confirm, right? You own this number that you're calling from. And then any phone number that isn't owned by FlowTrack, we're using the verified caller ID. We can confirm you as the owner based on receiving that SMS text. So that gives you the shaken and stirred compliance on there for the trusted calling. So let's see. Great question on that. Let's see. I'm saying that was Johnny on that. Perfect. Someone's saying they like the user guides. Which third party do you use? So we use UserPilot. UserPilot, I think .co or .io, one of those. So far, they look pretty cool. Pretty happy with them. They seem really good. Let's see. Someone's asking about the new template. So we're still going in and buttoning up everything on the new template, the Lightning template. So stay tuned for that. We got everyone that filled out the form. We got you tagged in the system. So once that's ready, we'll be able to roll out that blueprint to your account easily since you're all tagged. So just stay tuned on that. Let's see. Someone's asking to know, love to know what we could do with Thrivecart. Yep, I don't know much about that one, so I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. Another person saying support.flowtrack.co is the best place to go for overall videos. Absolutely, that's a good one. Definitely a good resource to get more videos for support. Let's see. Okay. Someone's asking about using the HTML element to change the color of a button before they're added to a website, but when I add it to the site, it doesn't keep the color. So I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about on that, but definitely connect with me and we can take a look at that together. And we want to make sure everything's going smooth in the website builder. So if you got a problem with the button or something like that, reach out or even send me a Loom video. That'll help so I can see what you're seeing. Or you can also always contact the chat support and we can dive in and help you out and they can get that same thing from you. But happy to help, definitely. Oh, sorry, I saw your follow-up question. So you're asking about on the forms. So that's a great question. So on the forms, I actually added some custom CSS on the FlowTrack form. So if you were looking for something kind of like that, where you got this pop-up, right? This is a form. I added some custom CSS there to make it look like that. And so we don't have the styling option yet for the button on the form in the website builder. So that's on the list for the team to do. So that's on their list. The only styling options you have today without custom CSS are just in the form builder. But we definitely want to get that added in the website builder. So you can make, makes it easier to change. But I can also just send you guys the custom CSS I used and just post that in the comments so you guys can take a look and see how you can do that and get that updated. There's two different ones. There's, one CSS if you're using a wizard form. There's another CSS if it's not a wizard form, if it's a one-page form. So good question. Post that in the comments on YouTube, since you're asking on YouTube. Let's see. Another person saying the white label, is your account's blocked? locked out for 30 hours. Okay, well, we can definitely help you out, Andres. Feel free to give us a call on the toll-free number or shoot me a message after this video. Happy to help you out. But if you're locked out, we got support to help you. You can go in on the website and click on the chat icon right here, or call the toll-free number, or message one of us in the Facebook group, and we can help you get unlocked. No problem. One person's asking about shape dividers. Can you explain shape dividers and how they are used? Absolutely. So let's dive into the website builder. And let's say I'm making, a site, and I can come in and maybe I'm putting in a grid. And I think I posted the photo of like the iPhone on the left, right, and something on the right. But shape dividers are a way for you to divide up your different sections using shapes. So I can come in here and say, let's put in, background color. Then I can click shape dividers, and we can say, let's put in a wave, right? And then, wow, I got this cool shape divider. But you got a bunch of different options in here that you can play with. And so you can come in and just test all these out, and you can change the position, top, bottom, that sort of thing, flip it around, and even change the color. So if your next section is like, orange, right? You can come in here and we just change the color to orange, and then it would flow through your next section. So that's what shape dividers are. So just come in here, play with them out. It's a fun way to divide up your page. So good question. Let me see, go back to the other questions. Send you a video for my questions. So you can email mike@flowtrack.co, Karen, or just shoot me a message in the Facebook group, and happy to take a look. We just film it on Loom. It'll be a quick Loom video. That would be awesome. And I'll get back to you on that. Let's see. We got let's see. I think that's all the questions going through right here. And yeah, so that's all for today. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll go back and look at those. But I appreciate you guys joining me for the Caviar Wednesday, and we'll see you on the Champagne Friday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.